Finding sustainable solutions can be overwhelming. Where do you even start?
What skills do I have? What abilities do I have? What problems do I care about?
Katie Jacobs had just graduated and was working at the University of Kentucky in an agricultural lab.
But then I wanted to come back to Cincinnati, and I was like, I couldn't find any jobs in the agricultural research space, and so I was looking at all these problems in the world, and I wasn't really finding many positions that solved them or dealt with them.
She decided to take the first step.
This is just me doing this.
And in doing so found a passion project hiding just beneath the surface.
15% of the methane emissions in the U.S. come from throwing away organics into landfills, and then they'll be up there. And it's like if we just throw things away differently or compost them instead, we're creating this beautiful soil amendment and we're getting rid of those emissions. So it's kind of like an easy win-win. Oh, why am I in the sun?
Digging into the world of vermicomposting meant she'd need worms.
I think they're cute.
And lots of them.
Worms themselves can eat anything, any organic matter. So they're digesting the food, they're coating it with microbes, and they're also moving it around and aerating it. They eat paper, they can eat vegetation, coffee grounds.
She started off relatively small.
Started with 40 pounds of worms.
Composting in her own apartment.
These were where all the beds initially were.
Those worms soon outgrew the space, so Katie moved them into a basement. Now she's expanded yet again and turned her pet project into a backyard business.
I'm trying to help people who don't have the space necessarily to compost or the time.
She calls it Back to the Dirt.
Is this where they live?
Yeah.
Are these our worm friends?
This is my temporary outdoor situation. They're filling up 5-gallon buckets for me of food waste, and then I'm either picking it up from their house or picking it up from one of our drop-off locations and then bringing it back and composting it for them, and then they get a portion of the worm castings back.
So, what's a worm casting?
It's the nicer word for worm poop. Worm castings, or again, that worm poop is stable organic matter. It's non-toxic, so you just can throw it right onto any of your plants.
These days, Katie and her worm friends are composting thousands of pounds every month.
I have about 60 plus people.
Intercepting trash on its way to the landfill and giving it new life.
If you look at any gardening website, the number one thing they'll say to improve your garden soil is to add compost.
And while she says selling some on the idea is still a work in progress,
you put worms, you put your food in, you cover it, and all's good.
Katie is confident composting will worm its way into your heart.
In the future, I would love to see Cincinnati where we're all composting.
Kristen Skovira, WCPO 9 News.